Richard Kumadoe, you are welcome to Forgotten Country, our SOMPA 106.5 FM in Accra. To say, yo, yesterday, minim say a idea or monitor President Mahama, Nishamudia, one in some trouble for a year. Now, and one issue I bonting was on the abuse of the social media usage. And of course, your man Penin rightly, I can say. 1 year abuses social media. Editing and bransom, edit man who fino. Sabri, Aquanian Ewa. The National Signals Bureau for Amawa Tracy Sancrofono. Do you think, say, a new year or man penny ye here, while Bra Yebisana sa question, now it was in the right direction?
Definitely, yes. Certain Minister, Sam George can say, Sam George, the Minister for Communication, or can say, Sam as soon as I pass the Disinformation Misinformation Act. And a continuation of near Sam George Kaya as the setup minister in this particular area. All different countries across the globe have various laws when it comes to disinformation and misinformation. The reason being said, the impact and the effect and the degree of negative impact on the social media, particularly when it comes to issues of disinformation and misinformation, is very huge. It destabilizes communities and nations. It creates integrity issues for individuals. It affects government policies. It destroys the narratives. It impedes development. And it bastardizes people and creates credibility issues for people who must have worked very hard to maintain their integrity. Now, and yet just within the domain, but spread needs to be very fast. And I am very wide. And the actual results of that, the one in your law, now one controlling it leads to false narratives, it leads to fake news being spread, and it leads to communities being misinformed, and it leads to high levels of disinformed society. And that is where we are being.
But listening to some conversation this morning on some other networks, now it be more say, I am someone, your man penning a car, yes, sir, Obama, the National Signals Bureau, Abemuno. Now it's a way of gagging people on social media to speak against a year, Nyama, Womufise, Abani ya, enye.
Okay, so take one particular person who the BNI have arrested and who the police have also arrested. The kind of nonsense he was talking about, was he criticizing government?
That's a fair question.
Yeah, he was not criticizing government. Only me on this radio, even before you guys came to Accra, as the guys who host me on SOMPA, I'm one of the people in this country who say it the way it is. And I believe that's the you guys keep calling me. I am a straightforward talker, and I hate it so hard sometimes. Did you hear anybody coming for me? Because I don't deal in personalities. I deal with principles, and the standard principles must be addressed. Here in Sana, you are doing 3 things, which I have been doing for the past 17 years. You create public education, you create awareness, you offer alternative source of reasoning, benchmarking best practices, and to be a come very far. And policy makers and decision makers listen to what I say. Students use it to write their dissertations and master's programs and PhD all over the world. When you read my latest book on criminal behavior, corporate crime and investigation at SOMPA, you will realize that one of the ways criminals behave is to attack personalities. And I'm through social media, particularly about the area of misinformation and disinformation. And see, I don't know what people are talking about. If it is the usual NDC, I'm not interested in that. But the whole can about the danger of social media, unregulated area within our governance and democracy and politics, it can become a panacea for disaster.
Okay, so, but don't you also think, say, and come on, right, course, no? The name, the National Signals Bureau, they can track you through your IP address. Enfa who be enfa Ghana phone say impono who be there won't mean can.
No, many they have been doing it for all these years.
SOMPA.
And I only say ya mo yes.
Me patch up métier.
No, but are you aware they have been doing it for all these years? Go and ask for the past 4 5 years. Some of us, our accounts have been hacked and they have been restricted. Have you not heard certain citizens in this country who said their social media accounts have been restricted? So it's something they do. When they say Signal Bureau, do people really know the job they do there? And you are afraid of the Signal Bureau. What about the National Cyber Security Authority? And what about the National Communication Authority? And what about the Cyber Authority at the police department, the police headquarters? And what about the BNI? When they say Big Brother is listening to you, do people really understand? Meaning, a simple thing. Don't become an enemy of the state. And don't become an enemy within. If we are not an enemy of the state, and you are not an enemy of the state, don't really bother about who is watching you and who is listening to you. Number 2, tell you about World Cup for America. 3 days ago, one more restrictions on when the buyer said, who apply for visa, you need to make your social media, the profile very public. Have you heard it?
SOMPA FM.
Okay, so you've been a security expert, you know.
Due diligence for people who want to apply for visa and for people who are looking for a job. We have done it for the past 50 years. It is something that is commonly done. And they profile you and establish a trend and a pattern. And they, excuse my language, but all the on social media, and there are ramifications and there are consequences for that.
Yeah.
That is what it is all over the world.
Okay, you know, you being a security expert, you know, I would say, do I name sa IP address, you know, can you walk us through? Sa IP address, you know, address banger, and how would the National Signals Bureau be able to trace you through your IP address?
No, we are investigators here to make sure on air because there are bad people listening. FBI for have a chief for you. FBI be any state house is by a Mokajira, and as a car now a bagana no a proceed of crime. No more talk and to almost check. What do you think they have done before they find out where the car is? When they are tracking cars that have been hacked with the devices, tracking devices, what do you think they do? We are investigators, and we cannot teach it on air. But what is important is that I have always been advising, live a hygienic social media lifestyle. Live a hygienic social media lifestyle. Live a hygienic social media lifestyle. The reason being that whatever you do on social media, there's another group of people who are monitoring and they are observing it. And there could be consequences and there could be ramifications for either good or for bad. And see, even though social media is a very important platform, creative business opportunities are here you see for interaction with our families and connecting with people, you have to be responsible. Other than that, we create a problem among. But the simple definition and understanding of IPS address is that the same way we draw letter or PO box, and I say we feel war address, house number 32, blah 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 street. No, who call social media handles. No, who create who details to share how we are normal create address amount. And to call Richard Kumadoe, that one is very unique to only Richard Kumadoe. It can be an announcement. You have to verify your account so that it becomes only significant and unique to only you. And see, that is what it is. When you get on the social media and you put in your details and all that, the social media platform handle it. And as a network owners, no more create identity amount. And say, a personal identity among all of us on social media individually. And it's also a way of holding us accountable for whatever we do on social media.
Once somewhere I can see no, say a man for be cry or na me abuchi kra meti hey na obi di medin a create a social media page na o pretty na odidi amanfo atem na ekoba ne sa ora Richard ya be den ya kire say nipa no because medin na wo ho.
And no, I know what they call sometimes you see a picture. We said some time ago, Obi you see your Minister of Energy, English yet they were Canada, okay,
Kaipa.
exactly. And we have a way of tracing it. We call it email tracing. We call it social media investigation. We call it profiling and identification, online identification. We are cyber investigators, so we understand many of those ones. And see, say, Obi, you see prosy account, and now say, why you see different names are, and you know, we have a way of finding out who the actual person is behind this particular account, and what is the spread of the disinformation this account has been used for, and what are the online activities they use. They use various tools. They could do several things, and to even see the things you have posted and you deleted them, all will come out. Advanced Google search, reverse Google search, many of those things too, they just blow up. We are talking about open source, CIT, and many of those things we do. These are basic ones before you get to the major tools now you see for disinformation and misinformation tracking. And they don't be worried that somebody will use your name or your identity. Of course, social media, man for brave, you see the duplicate crop. But all you see them for things that borders on national security threats and things that borders on individual very harmful or something. The Cyber Security Authority, the National Cyber Security Authority, the Cyber Security Department of the Ghana Police Service, the National Communication Authority, the Signal Bureau, the PNM, the police, and the National Security Secretariat guys, they have the capacity and the power to look for whoever has done that, then they may come after you.
All right, Richard Kumadoe, answer the response of the president about this social media issue what we raise wabra in some for a share a man pinin rano given the opportunity to rate the answer to this particular question out of 10 no obama o man pinin saying
no and no area and so one time to talk about it more. Mr. He answered it as a straightforward answer. But if he should take his time and elaborate on it as to what happened and what will happen, then I think people, but it's only the bad people who are afraid. Genuine people are happy. But I mean, I'm can't be true. If you want to get John Mahama and you want to criticize him, don't put him before the microphone. When you put in John Mahama before the microphone, people don't know who President Mahama is. When you put President Mahama before the microphone, he will win your heart. And you will love him by force. So why you watching say you don't like him and you don't want to like him and you don't want to have anything to do with him, don't put him behind the microphone because that is an area he's good at. And now share questions now. Any answers no my apart from the Galamsey issue at LI 2464 now. He promised to repeal it at 1 year repealation now, and there only CSOs had problems. He has answered all of them above board. And see, for me, I'll give him 12 over 10.
So you said also Obama is saying 10 over 10?
No, 12 over 10.
12 over 10?
Yes.
Is that not above the score line that I gave you?
Far above what people were expecting. And for me, and now when I was watching him, I said, "Oh, old boy has become a grandfather now." So he's not being elaborate and he's not being eloquent as he has always been. But like I said earlier, if you want to hate John Mahama and you don't like him, don't put him before the microphone. He will dazzle you, and you begin to like him by force. The likes of John Mahama, President Rawlings, President Obama, President Clinton, Prime Minister Tony Blair. These 5 people, no, don't put them before the microphone. You're going to fall in love with them. And if you ask me to give him in percentage, then I'm going to give him 120%.
All right, Richard Kumadoe, we want to thank you very much for your time this afternoon.
Thank you.
Yes, we're grateful for the time that you spent with us. God richly bless you.